Okay, here we have a student submitted question, and I thought it would be worthwhile going through this, especially because we're going to end up with a real mess whenever we do the composition function. Okay, so we're going to go through just one of these. This first one that says f composed of g of x. So I like to write it using my notation. So I usually write it like this, with f of g of x. I like to do this so that I can see that we've got an inside function and an outside. Now, working our way from the inside out, this inside part says, what is g of x? Well, we already know that because they gave it to us in the definitions and in the directions. G of x is x plus 2 over x minus 3. So now, according to my notation, this says that I'm evaluating the f function, but instead of x, I'm using x plus 2 over x minus 3. Okay, the f function they've defined up here as being the variable minus 4 over the variable plus 7. But instead of the variable, we're going to be using x plus 2 over x minus 3. So I'm plugging that in everywhere I had a variable in the original f function. Okay, so now we have the composition, but this is not simplified. In order to simplify it, we need to get rid of this complex rational business here. So in order to do that, we're going to multiply every term by the common denominator. So our denominator here, we have x minus 3, 1, x minus 3, and 1. The LCD then would be x minus 3. So I'm going to show that I'm multiplying through by x minus 3. I'm going to do that in blue so we can see that I'm actually multiplying by that binomial. I could even put parentheses so we could see that. Alright, now look at one term at a time. In the first term, the x minus 3's will cancel. So we have x plus 2. For our second term, we're going to have to distribute the negative 4 to the binomial. So that would be minus 4x plus 12. Now on bottom, again, look at one term at a time. For our first term, the x minus 3's will cancel. So we have x plus 2. And now for the second term, we have to distribute our 7. So that would be plus 7x minus 21. Now this is a matter of cleaning this function up. So x minus 4x would be minus 3x. 2 plus 12 would be 14 over x plus 7x would be 8x, and 2 minus 21 would be minus 19. We always want to make sure that we can't simplify any further, so we need to make sure and factor and cancel if we can. But this one will not factor the numerator or the denominator, so this is our composition function, and we would go ahead and put it in as our answer. Now once you've done that, it's going to ask you for the domain of the function. So for our domain, remember domain is going to be the set of x's such that x cannot be whatever would cause this denominator to be 0. So what would create an undefined space? We can set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. So if I move the 19 over and then divide both sides by 8, then we see that at 19/8 there will be a problem. Now because this was a composition function, we also have to double check something else. We placed a function inside another function. We could not have done that if this function had been undefined. So we also have to look at what creates an undefined space in the inside part, and that would be where x equals 3. So our domain then would be the set of all x's such that x cannot be 19/8 or 3.